morning, everyone. It's Friday morning. You're watching the Kaiser Report. Welcome back. Thank you very much for tuning in. Kaiser and I are here today, and he's right behind me here. Well, you can see his shadow anyway. And we're coming to you with a little bit of a breakdown over the Al Smith Catholic gathering last night that should have showcased both opponents that are running for president of the United States, and only one cared to show up. The other one mailed in a skit that was put together with somebody from Saturday Night Live, and it was quite, I believe, insulting that she did the production that she had put together, making fun of Catholic schoolgirls, basically, and then trying to recover from that. Not funny at all.
But Vice President Harris did have a scheduling conflict, but was generous enough to send us this video. Let's take a look.
Your Eminence and distinguished guests, the Al Smith dinner provides a rare opportunity to set aside partisanship.
Cool. Oh, sorry.
Hey, what's going on? Who was that?
Oh, sorry, Mary Catherine Elliott. Mary Catherine Elliott. It's so nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Mary Catherine. Right now I'm trying to record my speech for tonight's dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just want to say that I'm Catholic, and tonight is one of the biggest dinners next to the Last Supper.
It is a very important dinner, and it's an important tradition that I'm so proud to be a part of.
Sometimes when I get nervous, I stick my fingers under my arms and I simmer them like that. But that's gross.
So tell me something. I'm giving a speech. Do you have some thoughts about what I might say tonight?
My feelings about what you should say tonight would be best expressed in a monologue from one of my favorite made-for-TV series.
Okay, let's hear it.
Don't you see, man? We need a woman to represent us. A woman brings more heart, more compassion. And think how smart she must be to become a top contender in a field dominated by men. It's time for a woman, bro. And with this woman, we can fly.
What series was that from?
Oh, that's from House of Dragons, now streaming on HBO Max.
Is there anything that you think that maybe I shouldn't bring up tonight?
Well, don't lie. Thou shalt not bear false witness to thy neighbor.
Indeed, especially thy neighbor's election results.
Just so you know, there will be a fact checker there tonight.
Oh, that's great. Who?
Jesus. And maybe don't say anything negative about Catholics.
I would never do that, no matter where I was. That would be like criticizing Detroit in Detroit.
Does it bother you that Trump guy insults you all the time? Because it really bothers my friends and me.
Oh, Mary Catherine, it's very important to always remember you should never let anyone tell you who you are. You tell them who you are.
Haters gonna hate. Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off.
Shake it off. Good for you, Mary Catherine.
Oh, yeah, okay. And also remember one more thing. Don't worry if you make a mistake, because Catholic people are very forgiving. Yeah, and also, one last thing I want to tell you, don't forget to say, superstar!
Thank you, Mary Catherine.
Thank you, Mamala.
Thank you. Your Eminence and distinguished guests, the Al Smith dinner provides a rare opportunity to set aside partisanship and come together to do some good by supporting the tremendous charitable work of the Catholic Church. The Church cares for the sick and feeds the hungry, supports families with housing and education, and in times of disaster, provides not only essential supplies, but also, and so importantly, a sense of hope. The Gospel of Luke tells us that faith has the power to shine a light on those living in darkness and to guide our feet in the path of peace. In the spirit of tonight's dinner, let us recommit to reaching across divides to seek understanding and common ground. And in honor of the great Al Smith, let us fight to build a better future with faith in God, our country, and in each other. Thank you. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
I don't even know what that noise you're making is. Something like, I don't know. As I watched that, I couldn't help but think of, now I know how my kids felt when I FaceTimed into a piano recital they were at.
However, there was a lot of humor throughout the dinner last night. When you look at Jim Gaffigan, gave a great host speech there, and funny as all get out, because he's a funny guy. And Donald Trump was in rare form last night and very funny himself, and got a lot of points across in a fun manner, but things that needed to be said. And if you watched it, it was very interesting that Chuck Schumer, sitting that close to the podium where Trump was speaking, looked like Gollum waiting for the golden ring, his precious. It was amusing to watch the interaction from both Chuck Schumer and Bloomberg that was sitting out there in the front, and several other of the ancients, what I'll call ancients in New York City politics, sitting out there taking all this in. Some of them not liking what they were hearing, but actually nodded their heads on a few occasions that said, well, that's kind of true. But it was amusing, and it's made me very happy to see that actually it was a huge mistake on her part to be up in Michigan with Whitmer, who has just insulted the Catholic faith to the nth degree by using Doritos as a communion wafer as a joke. And we didn't need any of that at the Al Smith celebration and fundraiser for Catholic Charities that was taking place there yesterday. My hat's off to Cardinal Dolan for putting together quite the arrangement there for which is done every election. For those of you who don't know who Al Smith is, he was the first Catholic governor of New York City, or New York, and or mayor. Anyway, this is done, and it's done tongue-in-cheek in most cases, but a lot of the Democrats that sat there didn't like what they had to hear from Trump, and some are already saying that Gaffigan will never work again because he took a side. Well, I didn't take it that way. It was all a roast. A roast is supposed to be funny and insulting and everything that goes along with having a roast. We sat and watched the Dean Martin roast for years, and roast with, Sinatra and all of those people that were insulted to their faces, and laughed. What happened to the Democratic Party is their joy has gone out like a balloon that has a hole in it. And they can't laugh at themselves anymore. They just want to poke fun and laugh at the other side and get their talking points across. And there's no humor in their talking points, trust me. And it was evident there last night if you watched the faces. And then the gallery behind him of, news people, some of that are not very kind to Donald Trump, but he's been shot at a lot with verbs and bullets, and he's still standing there making light of it. I guess that he was on Fox and Friends this morning to discuss a few things, and I didn't get to tune into that. But he did talk a lot about the dinner last night, and he's going to a McDonald's, I guess, today to work there, I guess. They kept asking him if he was going to wear the paper hat, and nothing came of that. But in the meantime, not much is being said around the networks other than they didn't like it, and they thought that Kamala's call-in speech and little skit was just the best thing that they've ever seen. And, you know, it was like that she was there. Well, she was not there. She was campaigning, and her busy schedule didn't allow her to do that because she is thin-skinned and afraid of not fitting in with the Catholic group because she's worried about her stance and her running mate's stance on the abortion issue and all of that, that she was afraid that she may have gotten a question on it. And we all know how well she does. And I guess because the New York City Catholic group doesn't have an accent that she can fake, well, she didn't want to come. Pure and simple. So speaking of her accents that she adds to different things, take a look at this.
Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Oh, it's good to see so many friends. I love you back.
What'd you just say?
It's good to see so many friends. I love you back.
When he talking?
My name is Jeff.
It's Jefe, man.
Everywhere I go, I tell people, look, you may not be a union member. You better thank a union member. For the 5-day work week, you better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
It is so good to be back. And let me just say about Joe Biden, I have... Hello to all my Divine Nine brothers and sisters. And my sorors. And to all my HBCU brothers and sisters.
Face me!
Lou.
Fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. So, Georgia, it is so good to be back, and I am very clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024. Yes, we will.
Tough. I called it.
I'm way more mysterious than you.
Think about that.
So, not showing up last evening was a huge mistake on her part and her campaign's part. And what she's got to say now in Michigan today at her rallies leaves a lot to be desired. It'll be more of the same, more lies, more accents that she can fake. This is a person who has faked in her book, and it's come out now through Candace Owen. If you watch her channel on YouTube here, she will explain to you about Kamala's book and the pictures in it. It's been found out now that the one that she depicts as her grandmother was not her grandmother. It was more than likely help that was used inside the house or someone that was working there that she's passed off as grandma. And if she lies about that, what else is she lying about? Well, we can point fingers at several out-and-out lies that she uses in her campaign, memorized speeches of talking points every day of the week. So she has the ability to tell you some fibs, and she has plagiarized her website that she keeps referring to, about 80 pages of policy, has been cut and pasted from Joe Biden. We know that now, and yet she still wants to hang her hat on that, which is totally, in my mind, plagiarism in itself. And now we have the book coming out that it's not exactly true. Here and there may be some truth threaded through it, but we've seen that happen already with Mr. Barack Hussein Obama, when he sent out some books with some words in it that he had to backpedal on. But anyway, this is politics, and it's politics at its best with this campaign that she's running. And it's a campaign of, trust me, I'm going to do everything different than you've watched me do for 4 years, but maybe. No definitive points of view on how she's going to accomplish that. No definitive points of view of where she's going to come up with the $2 trillion in handouts that she is promising to buy votes. She's promised $25,000 to first-time home buyers, another massive amount to people opening up a business if you're of color, which is unconstitutional, and it's been through the courts already one other time. So that's going to be a difficult thing for her to pull off. But if she does, it's $2 trillion worth of added debt to our budget that we cannot afford to borrow more money to do these things. And she forgets to tell the people that, yes, I'm telling you, I'm going to give you all of this, but when it comes time, Alejandro Mayorkas will pop up and say, oh, we don't have enough money to do that. We spent it other places. Now they want to give another $257 million over to Zelensky again, while our president is in Germany promising all kinds of stuff to the Europeans if they'll help out his little buddy Zelensky by giving them more money and weaponry that they need to continue their war, which has already cost them most of their country. If you look at it pragmatically, that war needs to come to an end, and it needs to come to an end soon. And I believe that there are things on the table that have been passed over on 2 or 3 different occasions by Winkin, Blinken, and Nod going over there to try to cool things down, which brings us to Israel. He's sending Blinken back over there now that Netanyahu has pretty well devastated the upper management of Hamas by getting the last known designer of the October 7th raid died yesterday or the day before. And Biden immediately says, okay, now we can have a ceasefire. Well, it's not over yet, because we don't know who's going to step into those boots and decide that they can be meaner and nastier than the last one. This war needs to be continued and finished while Hamas is on their knees right now. And that's the way it needs to be. Even Kaiser agrees with that. There you go. And, well, there's another clip that I want to show you that is more poignant about what Kamala can make of herself when she wants to remake and redesign her exact purpose for running for president of the United States.
I'm curious, like, you don't do too many long form interviews. What made you want to do Call Her Daddy today?
Well, I think you and your listeners have really got this thing right, which is one of the best ways to communicate with people is to be real, you know, and
Can you say that again? Just the way you said it.
well, I think you and your listeners have really got this thing right, which is one of the best ways to communicate with people is to be real.
I couldn't agree more.
We're here in Texas. I want to ask you about the border. Would you call the border secure?
I think that there is no question that we have to do what the president and I asked Congress to do. Is the first request we made. Pass a bill to create a pathway to citizenship. The border is secure. One of the best ways to communicate with people is to be real.
Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Oh, it's good to see so many friends. I love you back. Everywhere I go, I tell people, you may not be a union member, but you better thank unions for that 5-day work week. Everywhere I go, I tell people, look, you may not be a union member, you better thank a union member for the 5-day work week. Thank unions for sick leave. You better thank a union member for sick leave. Thank unions for paid family leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. Thank unions for your vacation time. You better thank a union member for vacation time. So we're 64 days out from this election. Let's just get through the next 64 days. How about that?
It's sick.
One of the best ways to communicate with people is to be real. So there are a lot of reasons why we need to legalize.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like in
And
college,
I inhale. I did inhale.
Okay.
It was a long time ago. But yes.
I know you have to go. They say you have to go. I just wanted to
I
ask.
just broke news.
I mean, was it in college? See, I like stuff like that. That's a real honest answer.
Real. What does Kamala Harris listen to?
What were you
What's your
listening to
favorite
when you was high? What was on? What song was it?
Oh my goodness! Oh yeah, definitely Snoop. Tupac for sure. For
What do you
sure.
listen to now? What's your favorite?
Really?
She's a liar. She's a liar. But the fake news ought to report she's a liar because that sounds like a little thing, but it's a big thing because it tells you they lie. They lie about everything.
I said, ain't you forgetting something?
Okay, so here's the deal. I heard a rumor that you worked at McDonald's. Is it true?
I did. Yes, I did.
I
work
didn't
at
know that
McDonald's
about
when I
you.
was in school.
Me too. I worked registered, drive-through, and grill. I was known as a triple threat. Okay, just for the record.
I did fries.
Just the fries.
I did fries, and then I did the cashier.
Excuse me?
I believe missing that dinner last night was a key issue because there's a lot of voters that are going to recognize this as a thumb nose at the Catholic Society and the people who believe in that particular faith. So with that, we'll wait and see. We're a scant few days away from knowing what's going to happen to our country and who is going to be the next president of the United States. And I wish that you all will join me in a prayer to say that God, please guide the voters through this election to do the right thing. Vote with your heart and vote with the knowledge that you're gaining by listening to these particular candidates and what they're saying to you and read through the politics of it all and understand you have two track records to look at. You have a track record of 4 years of Donald Trump, which was a peaceful 4 years with a good economy. And yes, COVID happened and kind of messed things up toward the end, but he turned over a good working government to people who just printed money and spent money foolishly, caused an inflation in this country, cut off our oil reserves, put people in Alaska, indigenous people, out of work, and cut off their pipeline so that we could buy oil from Venezuela, which is a damn big mistake. So please pray, and pray often, that the voters out there come to their senses and vote correctly. And with that, it's Friday here, and we're looking at a good weekend. It was very cold this morning, and it's probably going to be in the highs of the high 50s today at our home here in East Tennessee. And we have to go out and about. Kaiser and I will be out to, we have to shop for a new range because our 2-year-old LG range, the oven decided to just quit on it. And this is more of this electronic junk that they put into this. And I'm going out to find an old-fashioned stove today that doesn't have all this electronic junk in it and boards that can go bad and so on and so on. It's like trying to find a toaster anymore that works, and it works correctly to give you the proper setting on a toaster. You can't find one anymore that's any good. And if you know of one that is an exceptional toaster, in the comments below, please drop me a comment about where I can go look for one. And if you have any comments on ranges other than the LGs that are out there now with these electronic things that you work from your phone, and it's never worked right, and probably because I don't have a millennial in this house anymore that can say, hey, Dad, this is how it works. Old people and new technology, we're slow to grab onto it, but we will, and we'll watch it. Anyway, don't forget our sponsor, Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop, because you may want to go get some steaks for this weekend if you've got good weather. And you can reach them at 423-398-5595. That's 423-398-5595. And they're located in Kingsport, Tennessee, and on Bloomingdale Road, just off of Route 93. Go see them, tell them Kaiser sent you, and get some great steaks, hot dogs, pork products, eggs, cheese. They're wonderful there, and they'll help you out. And with that, I'm going to wish you all a very, very happy weekend. And I'll play another clip for you here at the end of this broadcast. But until then, until Monday morning, Kaiser, unless something breaks big over the weekend and we'll do a special Kaiser Report, we'll be back here on Monday morning to see you with the Monday Morning Report. And we want to wish you a very happy, happy weekend and a peaceful weekend in your homes and with your family. And if you're in a part of the country that has been devastated by both Helene and Milton, please, we pray for you every day. Please stay safe and try to regain and pray that things will come back to normal for you before too long. And for all of you that have lost family members or still looking for family members, God bless you. And I'm sure that it is a difficult time for you. And please understand that people in this nation are thinking about you, even if Kamala isn't. So with that, we're going to say thank you very much for tuning into the Kaiser Report. Remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video or any others that are in our library. And also share with your friends. There's a share button on there. And of course, always give us your comments, your thoughts, and let us know what you're thinking so we can put that out there to the rest of our subscribers, which are building. And thank you very much for your subscriptions. So with that, we're going to say, stay strong, stay safe, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for all your information. Bye-bye now.
Women in communities with a lack of the adequate resources they need for health care, prenatal, during their pregnancy, postpartum. Think about that. And these hypocrites want to start talking about this is in the best interest of women and children? Well, where you been? Where you been?
And these hypocrites.
Look in the mirror.
1994. What would you do about the millions of, specifically, assault weapons that are already in circulation? What do you do about those?
Well, there are approximately 5 million, to your point, Craig. We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
And it's something I'm so passionate about and so looking forward to being president to address. We've got to deal with this.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory. Among everybody in the community, and just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible and safe in the way you conduct your affairs. And then this business about taking everyone's guns away. Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. And these hypocrites.
My family lives in western Pennsylvania, where fracked gas wells have become a common sight. Yet the toxic impacts of fracking on the community are immense, from contaminated groundwater to poisonous emissions. Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yeah, and starting with what we can do on day one around public lands, right? And then there has to be legislation. But yes, and this is something I've taken on in California. I have a history of working on this issue. And
That's why I am committed to passing a Green New Deal, creating clean jobs, and finally putting an end to fracking once and for all.
Mama La Kamala just don't give a frack.
When you were in Congress, you supported the Green New Deal. And in 2019, you said, quote, "There is no question I'm in favor of banning fracking." Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue, particularly in your must-win state of Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Do you still want to ban fracking?
no, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020.
Simply not true.
And these hypocrites. And that includes the fundamental freedom of a woman to be able to make decisions about her own body and not have her government telling her what to do.
Hypocrites.
Run a few tests. This is a simple lie detector. I'll ask you a few yes or no questions, and you just answer truthfully. Do you understand?
I grew up a middle-class kid.